Hi guys, my name is Francisco Cota, also known as El Paco Machine. I am the singer and the lead guitar player for the Van Hexen from Tijuana, Mexico. And today we're going to be taking a look at how to use your virtual instruments in Ableton Live 9. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a MIDI track in Ableton, and we do that by going into our Create menu and then hitting the Insert MIDI Track button, and that created our first MIDI track. We need to go and set up our MIDI controllers if we're using any. In this case, I am, and we do that by going into the Options and Preferences menu. Then we click the MIDI Sync tab, and as you can see, Ableton has automatically detected my Axiom 49 controller. If you're using another type of controller, you can connect it via USB, or maybe if you're using a MIDI interface, whatever way you like, it works in Ableton the same way, and it'll be appear here in this this tab. So next we need to take a look at the driver type we're going to be using. In this case, I'm using a ASIO driver. This is for my Firebox. It's a 64-bit ASIO driver. And here we could choose the sample rate that we're going to be using. In this case, I'm just going to leave it as it is. You could choose 48 or 96, whatever. And you can go into our Record tab, and here we will set the type of file that we will be outputting at the end and the bit depth that we'll be recording at. In this case, I'm using a 24-bit depth recording type, and I'm going to be using a WAV file type. And we can just close our Preferences menu. Then we need to take a look at what type of sound we're going to be using for our virtual instrument. Ableton has a whole bunch of sounds. We can go into the Instruments menu, and here we could select whatever sound we like. Maybe if you want a violin, a guitar, a cello, maybe some drums. We could all use them with our MIDI controller. In this case, just for this demonstration, I'm going to be using a analog type of sound that I really like. It's the Bright Buzz Pad. And how do we get these sounds into our MIDI track? For us to be able to use them, they need to be inside our track. So we take our sound and we could either drop it in the track or on this box below. We can just drop it on the track. And as you can see, it's filled the track with my Bright Buzz Pad sound, and it is now on my track number 2, which is my MIDI track. So next we need to take a look at where the MIDI is coming from. As I said before, I am using a Axiom 49, and we click this drop down menu, it'll give us an option of all the MIDI interfaces that might be connected to your computer. In this case, I'm going to be choosing the Axiom 49, and the All Channels drop down menu tells Ableton where to look for MIDI information. In this case, if I click a note on my MIDI controller, as you can see, it says that it is transmitting on channel 1. Now, most MIDI controllers have the option for you to set up regions in your controller and to be transmitting MIDI on different channels, but you just have to check your manual if your controller has the capability to do that. In this case, I'm going to set my channel to channel number 1, and for my Axiom 49, the next thing that we need to do is we need to enable our track, and by default it is enabled right here. If you're ever on a problem when you don't hear sound, just come back to this button, because most of the time it might be an oversight, but just remember to enable your tracks in order for you to be able to hear the sound from your tracks. We're going to rename our track, and we click on our MIDI track, we hit Control R. Then we're going to put like Buzzy McGee sound. Buzzy McGee sounds like a good name. Buzzy McGee is going to be rocking our socks off tonight or today. Okay, and I think we're done with this part. We now need to take a look at how we are going to enable our tracks in the Arrange window. So the first thing we need to do is take a look at our global components. In this case, the metronome, which is one of the most important features in our DAW. This white and black dot is the metronome. When it's enabled, it is yellow. When it is not enabled, it is it is gray. If we hit this drop down menu, it'll give us the counting for our metronome. In this case, it is set to 1 bar. You could choose up to 4 bars. I'm just going to leave it at 1 bar. I'm going to enable my metronome. I'm going to choose the tempo for my metronome. You could also use the tap function. You can see if I click the tap function, it is automatically giving me a tempo from the way that I'm clicking. Okay, I'm going to stop this. I have my record button enabled. That means that as of right now, oh, wait. Okay, there we go. So when I hit record, it'll start giving me the 4 bar counting. You could check the preferences and for it to wait until you hit record and then play, but I have it just as hit record and then start the counting. You could also change your time signature. Maybe you want 5/4 or 7/8 or whatever. You could choose this option right here on this menu as well. And also just a little bit more for those who are looking for a little bit more advanced way to moving your song tempo. Here on the master section, you could choose how your tempo is going to be behaving. Like you can see here that it is 9211, then it goes up to 164, and you could choose and move this to your liking. I'm just going to set it to, okay, let me just get rid of these. I'm just going to set it to 90, let's say. And I'm going to be recording some MIDI into Ableton. Let me just check that it is transmitting MIDI once again. And as you can see, I'm hitting a D note on my controller and it is moving my virtual instrument in my MIDI track. It is transmitting on channel 1 from my Axiom 49 into Ableton. When we hit the tab button, it is takes us to the arrange window, and now we're ready to record some sounds. We're going to hit a stop so it can take us to the 1/1 bar, and I'm going to be recording any types of notes, just random notes. That sounded pretty awful, but yeah. So we need to take a look. If we need to take a look a little bit in more detail on what we recorded, we could just highlight the regions that we just recorded, and then we hit the box below, and it'll take us to the Edit MIDI window. And here we can take a look at all the notes that we recorded, and we can edit them. We can move them. We can maybe one by one. Maybe we could take groups and just move them all around. As you can see, they changed the note for each types of block. This here represents the piano, and it'll move the notes for our MIDI that we recorded. So the next thing that we need to do is we want to quantize our MIDI. As you can see, my recording wasn't all that great. If I want to quantize what I just recorded, I can just quantize the section. I can just highlight the section. Then I'm going to hit the quantize settings, and just to check that it is going to be quantizing the way that I like. Maybe if I wanted to quantize to 1/4 measure, maybe 1/8, triplets, whatever. I'm just going to be choosing a 1/8 because I was recording at 7/8, and I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see, this note shifted to the 1/8 grid. I'm just going to be quantizing all of them. So just quantize. Okay, so we're all quantized to the a 1/8 note on a 7/8 signature, time signature. The next thing and the last thing I think we're going to be taking a look at is our velocity for these notes. As you can see, if I highlight this line right here, it is giving me a number, and this is the velocity number right here. It says that this note was hit with a 111 velocity. This was 95, 101, and you can change this velocity. See, if I go down, it gets a little bit lighter red. If I go up, it gets a little bit deeper red. And that'll tell us how hard we hit the note when we recorded our music. We can also record MIDI notes by hitting the pencil button or by hitting B on our keyboard, and we could just record notes or print notes into our MIDI region right here. And let me just see. Let's just see what this sounds like. It's pretty bad. But I guess that's it for this small tutorial. I hope this helped you guys. Maybe if you had a doubt, I hope it cleared some of them for you. Maybe if it gives you even more doubts, then I didn't do my job correctly. But if you have any suggestions or any comments on this video, this is the first video that I made. I will hopefully in the future be able to transfer the sound directly from Ableton to the OBS recorder. I'm still figuring out how to do that, but yeah, guys, hope you keep on making good music and rock on. See you guys soon.